Hi there. In this video, we're going to talk about solving compound inequalities. A compound inequality is where you have more than one inequality. And we've got two kinds, okay? And our two kinds are going to be an intersection and a union, okay? So let's first talk about an intersection. So an intersection, we use the word and, okay? So what I want to say here is that I have my variable x, and I know that from this statement I say that x is greater than or equal to 1. And at the same time, x has to be less than or equal to 5. So what I want to do is I'm going to graph this first inequality here, okay? And so when I graph this inequality, x is greater than 1, I go to 1, and based on what we know, it's a colored in circle because we're greater than or equal to, and x is big, okay? So that means we're going to shade this to the right, okay? Now what I want to do is draw another number line, okay? And I'm going to plot 0, 1, and 5 at the same spot. Now, I want to look at this guy. So x is less than 5, or less than or equal to 5. So I'm going to come in here, put a solid circle at 5, and then because x is smaller than 5, I'm going to shade to the left. All right, so we go this way. Now, what I want to do is put these graphs together and determine where do they share common points? Where do they intersect? And so from here, what I want to do is I'm going to draw the same thing. Here's 0, here's 1, here's 5. Okay, and what I know is that if I talk about the intersection between the two, they share points from 1 and then at 5 and lower, okay? And so what I want to do is put both of those on the same graph and say between 1 and 5 is where x exists, okay? And if I use that word and, I say, okay, x is greater than or equal to 1, and at the same time, it has to be less than or equal to 5. And that's what that means. Now, what I want to do is I actually want to write this using inequality notation. So what I can do here is I can say that 1 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 5. And basically what I say here is that x is in between these two numbers, all right, and I graph it like this, okay? So let's solve a couple of inequalities where we have an intersection. So on something like this, I've got -7 is less than or equal to 2x minus 1, which is less than or equal to 11. Okay, and if I want to solve this equation for x, I want to isolate x in the middle. All right, so what I want to do here is I'm going to now add 1 to both sides, or to all three parts, okay? And from there, all right, I'm going to get -6 is less than or equal to 2x is less than or equal to 12. From here, I divide all three parts by 2, not 3. What am I doing? All right, divide everything by 2. And so you end up getting -6 divided by 2 is -3, is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to +6. So if I want to graph this, I'm going to go through and I'm going to plot 0, -3, and 6. Now, from here, I want to plot points at -3 and 6, and we're colored in because we're less than or equal to on both of these. And I want to look at this as such, and I want to say x is greater than or equal to -3. So if x is big, I'm going to shade to the right of -3. And at the same time, okay, 6 is greater than or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to 6. So I would shade to the left from 6, all right? And so basically what I have is I have that x is in between the values of -3 and 6, okay? And that's how I would solve an inequality like this. The next compound inequality that we have is something called a union, okay? And so a union means that we use the word or. So let me show you a couple of inequalities and how we talk about a union. So let's take a look at these two inequalities. All right, I've got x is less than or equal to -2, or x could be greater than 3. Okay, so now when I use that word or, let's graph 3 lines, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 0 here, all right? Put them right on top of each other. -2 here, and then 3 we'll put here. So when x is less than or equal to -2, all right, what I want to do is I want to put a circle here, closed-in circle, colored-in circle, because we're less than or equal to, and I want to shade to the left because x is smaller than -2. Now, when I do that x is greater than 3, all right, I simply just put an open circle because we're greater than, and because x is larger than 3, I'm going to shade to the right, okay? Now, a union means that it could be, x could be in this, all right, set of numbers, or x could be here. It doesn't matter where it goes. So a union means that you simply just put both graphs on the same graph. So I come in here for an or, and I put -2 is less than -2, or equal to, and then open circle at 3 and shade to the right, all right? And this is my solution, okay? Now, there's no special way of writing our inequalities. We simply just use the word or, okay? Okay, on this example, what you have is you have one inequality or you have another inequality, okay? And we want to solve both and then graph them on the same graph. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and just solve this one as we see it. My first step is going to be to subtract 1 from both sides, and we're then going to get that 2x is greater than or equal to 4. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 here and get that x is greater than or equal to 2. All right, so I solved one inequality. Let's go over here and let's solve the other one, and let's go ahead and just subtract 4 from both sides. And so we're going to get -7 minus 4 is -11 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, so that was just a one-stepper. All right, so I'm just going to, here's what I've got for that. Now, I'm going to write these down over here and just write x is greater than or equal to 2, or -11 is greater than or equal to x. Now, from here, what I want to do is I'm going to plot these on a number line, okay? I'm going to put 0 in the middle, I'm going to put 2 here, and then -11 here. So again, you know, because I have or, I just want to graph both of these on the same line, and that's it, okay? So when x is greater than or equal to 2, I use a colored-in circle, colored-in dot, and I shade to the right. All right, when -11 is greater than or equal to x, x is smaller than -11. So same thing, I'm going to use the colored-in dot, and I'm going to shade that to the left, okay? And that's how I would graph that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.